Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you guys is what I would like to see from New World going forward beyond February 2022 after, of course, the bug update sort of patch that I talked about yesterday. A lot of response to that video already, loads of comments you guys saying, yeah, this is good, but I want to see a roadmap, and that is something that I really wanted to touch on today, a roadmap of what we can expect, what I'm hoping to expect from the game, and what we could see to really give us that oomph back into the game, some expectations, and maybe a little, sneaky teaser or two as to what we can expect in the coming months from New World to keep the players engaged. Now, before we fully jump into this video, if you haven't already done so, please do go down below and drop a subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. We are pushing for 15,000 subscribers right now. We just hit 13k like last week, which is absolutely amazing, so thank you very much for all the support, and let's keep cracking on with it. So today, like I said, I want to talk about the roadmap of New World, or the lack thereof, and that is the first thing that I really want to touch bases with you guys on, and I think we can pretty much all unanimously agree that a roadmap towards the progression of this game, what we can aim to see in the coming weeks, months, even years, and what sort of content we can expect in the near future, in the slightly near future, and then further away, but something that is definitely in the works, would be an amazing addition, and I think it's something that would keep a lot of the player base engaged. For example, if we were told that in a month or two's time we were going to be getting PvP arenas where gear score would be irrelevant, everyone would be given a PvP setup, and it would just simply be very similar to Lost Arks in a lot of ways, where you would just get to pick the abilities and the weapons that you want to use, and basically everybody would be given the same set of armor with the same perks and etc. on, so that the armor is exactly the same. It's more about composition and skill. That would be really cool. A lot of players would be excited for that, including myself. But for those guys that aren't PvP, if we were told after that we were then getting a new area of the map to explore, which would be, having certain features in, maybe some new materials in, maybe some new ways to upgrade your gear or new types of gear. There's all sorts of things that could be done there. We could be seeing a new crafting skill around a similar time to this new area comes in. Maybe it's building works, where similar to furnishing, but you actually are able to build a house, design it how you want to, or shipbuilding, for example, to allow us to then potentially in future updates lay the foundations for traversing to a different island or little sub-islands of Eternum, which would be really cool as well. So things like that would be amazing to see, and I think it would keep the players engaged, so that, if the next update, for example, March update is based around PvP, but then we've got April update, which is going to be based more around PvE, something along those lines, or even just next couple of months is going to be PvP and PvE focused, then we're going to look at any potential bugs that come up again, and then we're going to move on to this, etc. Would be amazing. Now, this is twofold as well, because they could tease new content to us, perhaps the new implementation of some new weapons, or some new abilities, or new skills, like I said there, or potentially, some new areas, some new monsters to fight, some new storylines coming into the game, some new leaderboard systems, anything along that type of line would be really cool, and to be able to see that, I think would be absolutely crucial for this point of the game, so that we can see, especially when they do bug fix months like this month in February, it's crucial that this gets done, and I actually think this is going to be one of the best updates. But what would have been amazing is if we could see what's coming up, so that players know whether it's worth sticking around for them, and they can make the decision based on that, or if they're going to come back at certain points. So I would really like to see something like an overall view of the projection and the plans for New World over the coming year, at the very least over the coming next 6 months, so that people can kind of get hyped, talk about it, and prepare and plan for that, because that'd be something really cool. Now, in terms of things we have in the game already that kind of base off this, I would love to see some sort of comparison, some sort of leaderboard, especially if we bring out a PvP arenas. Obviously that should come with a leaderboard. That'd be really cool to get some sort of ranking system, but it'd be also really cool to see a server or even region wide, or even potentially worldwide leaderboards for companies that own territories, who've held them for the longest, who have the biggest treasury, who have won the most PvP battles, whether it's defense or offense, and whether that be 50v50 as a separate category, and then also things like when they've captured forts, how many forts they've captured, how many influence quests they've run in total, and things of that nature, which would be really cool. And to coincide with that, a company ledger, so we could see which company members have taken what money out, which company members have put which money in, what we spent money on in terms of upgrades, members members leaving, members joining, that sort of thing, just all in a smart little system that we could see as guild leaders would be absolutely amazing. And I think that would be something that would benefit everybody, because again, going off Lost Ark, and I'm aware this game has been out for a long time, but their guild system where there's a contribution basis and then the materials from that guild then get split between the players. If they reach the contribution limit per week or above that, of course, then those materials get split amongst those players that are the most active and helping the company the most. That'd be a really cool thing to implement, even if it's not an automatic system, just some way that we could see what each player within the company was doing, I think would be really cool. And then that could coincide with leaderboards as well. You could have internal leaderboards, so which players had the most kills this week, mined the most nodes, has crafted the most items, all that kind of thing, which would be amazing. And then obviously, like I said, either server-wide, region-wide, or worldwide leaderboards that players could access and have a look. And that'd be really cool as well, because then players could compare stats, and it could be a cool thing where you guys could all see my stats for the week on a website or whatever, or, you know, other content creators who make videos, you know, we could say, oh, I've made 500k gold this week, and you're like, have they? Let me check it. Stuff like that would be really cool, and it could almost encourage like a little competition of mini games, like which of the group could get a certain amount of wood chopped the fastest, and you can see who's where on the leaderboards, stuff like that, which I think could be a fun little substrata sort of thing to a leaderboard system as well. So there's all those community and creative ideas that could come from it as well. So I think that would make it overall a really good implementation. But of course, we do want the bug fixes and such first, which is why I think, going back to my first point, a roadmap would be crucial. Now, I am just going to keep this video fairly short and sweet and just talk about things that we haven't got upcoming, or things that we haven't seen talked about as much recently. And I think one of the main things, especially a lot of people from yesterday's video saying this as well, let's talk about the bots, gold sellers, etc. They are working hard to get rid of these, but there is still a lot of bots, particularly on the server I'm on. There's been some there that have been level 60 for a fair amount of time right now, and I know this is the same across the board. It's not always easy for Amazon Game Studios and the team to be able to catch these, but some sort of moderation level would be great to see increase, where, you know, multiple reports have been done by myself and various other players I know on certain bots, and they're still running around. So stuff like that would be really cool if we could get rid of those, because it does mean, you know, those players that like to farm resources and sell them for a profit or to craft with, is really driving the price up and the economy up when it doesn't need to. And, you know, obviously these bots are online for many hours, some of them permanently online, just farming continuously, and it does, you know, put too much competition into some of these nodes. So having that opened up would be really cool. And of course, gold sellers, we've seen a massive reduction in these since the launch of the game. Barely any on my particular server. I know other servers there is a few, but these generally do go away once you report them fairly sharpish. So I think that's actually more or less under control. There is still some sites and things that probably will do it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm imagining there's still other things going on with that. But generally in game, it's kept as clean as possible, which is what we could ask for there. Let's just focus in on the bots and hopefully see those disappear. Now, in terms of other things in the future of New World that I'd like to see, continued community interaction from the team. They do a fantastic job on the forums, like I mentioned yesterday. This being continued and, you know, brought forward more into the forefront going forward. These community dev videos are a really great thing that we've seen, so more of that. Maybe more live Q&A sessions, whether it be on Twitter, on the forums, on Reddit, whatever they want to do, where everybody can send in questions about a certain topic, and then we get sort of video response or even written responses to some of those questions. That would be a really cool sort of environment to encourage player interaction, and also get a good bit of player feedback on new or upcoming features or ideas whilst they're in the development stages, which I think would be really beneficial, and it would give us all a good chance to get involved with the kind of pathway and the future of the game, which I think a lot of players would be super interested in. Now, something else that a lot of people have kind of picked up on and said going forward past the February update. Now, imagine in a perfect world this comes out and there's no more bugs, or a very minimal amount of bugs in line with other games that have been out for multiple years, which is kind of unfair because this is a very young game in comparison. But let's say in an ideal world, most bugs are fixed. What do people want to see? People are talking about content. So I think obviously we want to see a little expansion to PvP. I've talked quite a bit about this towards the start with road mapping, and I think people want to see an extra avenue for PvE. We want to see progression and further implementation of expeditions. I actually really like the expeditions. I would just like to see future ones involve maybe some little puzzles or some different mechanics with the bosses that do require a little bit more of a skill gap to complete, or at least on the mutated modes will require a bit more of a skill gap, because I think these are really fun and I've really enjoyed the mutations for for that reason, so increasing that would be great. I would like to see less of a grind or a catch-up type mechanic added in, so that people who don't have as many hours a day to play the game can still consistently keep up and compete with those that do play more. But obviously those people that put more hours into the game should be rewarded in some way as well, which is where the hard balance comes in, and I'm glad that isn't my job to figure out, to be honest, because it is tough. But something along those lines where, you know, you've got the balance right, where players that play an extra amount or a lot can progress further, but it doesn't give them a huge advantage over players that don't play as much but still really enjoy the game. And that's where I think that New World's got the gap at the minute. If they can close that up and think of a way to kind of bridge the gap there, that'll be really, really cool. So overall, to sum up what I would like to see in the near future, obviously successful bug fixes in February. A roadmap is the most crucial thing I would ask for. If anyone could ask me anything for New World, it would be a roadmap and some clear objectives, as this is what we're trying to achieve. This is the content we're trying to get to, or even just PvE content is being worked on. Literally just a vague stuff that we can grasp onto. And then just talking about going further into the progression systems, obviously in the future, leaderboards, things like that. Cool little ideas and events on the servers, you know, in-game events, open world events, stuff like that would be amazing. But that stuff is more in the future. Let's focus on bug fixing, getting rid of the bots, getting some sort of roadmap out to the players, and take it from there. That would be my key things. Now, obviously, not everybody will agree with the things I've said there, but if you've got some ideas of your own, please do drop them in the comments down below. It's amazing to read through and chat to all of you guys about your thoughts and feelings on the game. A lot of players really got lots of different things, but basically all towards the same goal of let's try and make it succeed the best we can, because we're all enjoying the game, which is amazing. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. But other than that, that is going to be it for today. If you have enjoyed the video, please do make sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you very shortly on a brand new upload. Thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and peace.